3. Okay. I think I'm ready whenever Will is ready for episode number 3 of Colo Tello, learning how to speak Argentine Spanish and American English. Hosted by me, Ben, nicknamed Tolo, and also by Will, nickname El Colo. So, ready? While I'm waiting for Will, first half of the show is in Argentine Spanish, and then the second half of the show is in American English. So that's what we do, and we have questions about both languages, and we both answer them and share them with you, so we can help you improve your English or your Spanish. And here's Will. Guillermo. Guillermo Franchella.
Hola, Ben. ¿Cómo andas? Bancame un ratito. ¿Dónde está? Bueno. Ok. Te escucho y te veo. Y bueno, estoy acá.
¿Qué haces, Guille?
Nada, estoy súper listo para charlar con vos de nuevo, ¿eh?
Qué grande, Titán. Titán.
Una cosa, hace un par de días tuve que ir a la ciudad de Nueva York en auto por la primera vez en mi vida, y no sé si conoces la ciudad de Nueva York muy bien, pero manejar en la ciudad es la definición de un quilombo, te digo. Creo que hay como 8 millones de habitantes en la ciudad, y si no estás, si no tengas cuidado, es como hay tantos autos y gente cruzando la calle y bicicletas y todo eso, es como es increíble, no hay palabras. Pero ¿alguna vez has ido a la ciudad de Nueva York?
Sí, justamente tengo una historia para contarte. En el año 2000, no me acuerdo, 2008 más o menos, no me acuerdo exactamente, pero sí, fuimos con mi mujer a Manhattan, am I saying that right? Manhattan.
Sí, Manhattan, perfecto. Manhattan. Sí.
Y no, la verdad que fue el peor error uno de los peores errores que cometimos en nuestras vidas, porque fuimos a Nueva York y no podíamos encontrar un lugar para estacionar, y queríamos ir al local de Apple, que es un glass square, es ¿cómo se dice? Un square, un cubo de vidrio, ¿no? Y es hermoso. Y bueno, fuimos ahí, no podíamos encontrar lugar para estacionar, hasta que encontramos un lugar para estacionar, ¿no? Bueno, estacionamos ahí y nos fuimos al Apple Store y sacamos fotos y fuimos a recorrer un poco y volvimos y el auto no estaba.
No.
El auto no estaba.
¿Qué pasó?
Desapareció el auto y bueno, no sabíamos qué hacer, así que bueno, preguntamos. Y bueno, y nos dijeron, un portero de ahí, que estaba ahí al lado de en un edificio, un tipo que trabajaba ahí, le preguntamos, y nos preguntó dónde habíamos estacionado, y le dijimos, y nos dijo, no, this is a towing zone. Esa es una zona que te saca la grúa, te remueve de ahí. Y miramos para arriba y había un cartelito así de chiquitito que estaba en un poste alto, no sé, 10 feet o 8 feet, así de chiquitito, que decía towing zone, pero nosotros jamás lo vimos. Pero te digo, el cartel era así, así de chiquito, vamos a decir, ¿no? Y bueno, tuvimos que tomarnos un taxi que nos salió $54 hasta el lugar donde llevan los autos cuando se los lleva la grúa. Y bueno, estuvimos esperando casi 4 horas hasta que nos devolvieron el auto. No solo eso, sino que la grúa nos rompió el paragolpe de adelante del auto, tenía un dent, ¿no? Tenía medio como un agujero, y la verdad que nos arruinó el día en Nueva York y decidimos que
Claro,
nunca más íbamos a volver a Manhattan en auto. Si vas a Manhattan, tomate el micro y el subte y movete de esa forma, porque si no sos un local, si no sos una persona que vive en Manhattan, no estás acostumbrado. Y bueno, para nosotros fue una muy mala experiencia, ¿no? No fue la primera vez que fuimos a Manhattan. Yo estudié en Manhattan un verano por 1 mes y medio, 6 semanas. Hice un curso de actuación, una clase de actuación en el William Esper Studios, que William Esper era un gran profesor de teatro. Y bueno, yo estudié con la mujer de él que se llama Suzanne um, Esper, y bueno, y estoy familiarizado un poco con Manhattan y cómo moverme en subte y en tren, pero no, yo no le recomiendo a nadie que vaya en auto si no es local de la ciudad de Nueva York, o si no vivís ahí cerca, porque no, puede ser un desastre, ¿no?
claro, no, y por suerte eso no pasó a mí con el ¿cómo se dice? Estacionamiento. Estacionamiento.
Estacionamiento.
Sí,
Ujú.
esa palabra siempre me mata. Hay tantas sílabas, es como estacionamiento. Ok. Pero bueno, pero sí, como vos no conozco la ciudad muy bien, pero sí tuve que ir a, no sé, Parque Central, Central Park, en el centro de la ciudad, em, para sacar muestras del agua, porque la organización de ese parque es uno de nuestros clientes, y sí, fue una experiencia media rara, porque yo tenía que manejar en no sé cómo se dice, camiones del parque para llegar a los lagos, pero había gente, y, y los autos no están permitidos, um, o sea, están permitidos si tienen um, como un papelito que dice que, que, no hay- que el parque sabe que estás acá y que estás um, permitido manejar por el parque, pero me sentí muy, no sé, no raro, pero la idea de manejar en camiones de bicicletas y de gente andando fue algo muy raro. Me sentí como era una, no sé cómo se dice, breaking the law,
Ah,
rompiendo la ley.
violando la ley.
Ok, está bien. Eh, pero está bien. Y, y bueno, eso fue una experiencia de esta semana. Y como siempre, tengo una lista de algunas dudas. eh, Así que si estás listo para ser profesor Ben,
Profesor Ben.
te
Argentinólogo.
haré unas preguntas.
Argentinólogo.
Em,
A mí me pasa cuando hablo en inglés que uno piensa un poco más y en vez de decirlo muy fluido, vamos a decir, como yo estoy hablando ahora fluidamente, uno dice, bueno, en realidad, si uno quiere hablar fluidamente, o sea, como que pensás un poco más, pero lo que decís está bien, lo que estás diciendo está bien, es correcto, lo que pasa es que no tiene la fluidez por una cuestión de overthinking, no tan fluido, pero eso me pasa a mí cuando yo hago el switch to English. A veces me pasa que digo, well, my wife and I, how you say that, you know,
Claro,
you
claro.
see what I mean, but no encontré nada que te pueda decir, dijiste serruchonga en vez de serrucho. No sé, no hay nada, ¿cómo se dice? Entonces me cuesta a mí también, a veces me olvido palabras en español o en inglés, y bueno, uno se detiene a pensar, pero dale con las preguntas si querés.
Genial. Ok. La primera pregunta, o sea, más, no sé si es una, una pregunta, sino una discusión sobre la palabra lindo o linda en español, porque obviamente la dicen mucho en Argentina, pero quiero preguntarte, porque vos hablas castellano.
Argentinólogo,
Sí, sí,
argentinólogo.
sí. Porque vos hablas ambos idiomas. Em, ¿Pensás que hay hay una palabra parecida o similar en inglés como lindo o linda? Porque para mí
Pretty.
tiene varios significados y claro, entiendo todos, pero es como una palabra que no existe exactamente en inglés, me parece. Em, pero sí, hace unos días estaba escuchando una entrevista y la persona usó lindo, pero en la misma entrevista dijo unas oraciones con lindo en contextos diferentes, vamos a decir. Y, y no sé, es como una mezcla de, para mí, cute, beautiful, nice. Y por eso quiero usar la palabra mucho, porque se usa mucho en Argentina, pero también no sé si hay otras palabras que puedo incluir más, que son un poco más, no avanzados, sino algo, porque no quiero presumir, sino si hay algo que puedo decir para, no sé, crecer el vocabulario o algo así. Pero yo sé que eso fue una pregunta enorme, eh, pero no sé si tenés una opinión sobre lindo o linda.
Sí, sí, sí. Sí, lindo es una palabra, como vos decís, el significado principal es pretty, a pretty girl, una chica linda, ¿no?
Amo.
O pretty boy, un chico lindo, right? Ese es el significado principal, ¿no? Pero, por ejemplo, vos la podés usar en el siguiente contexto. Vos podés decir, che, lindo quilombo, ¿eh? Lindo
Lindo,
quilombo.
lindo
Como
quilombo.
diciendo gran quilombo, o, it's a pretty damn mess, you know.
Un lindo
Es
quilombo.
una manera de decir, lindo quilombo, o che, linda fiesta también se puede decir, linda fiesta, o linda, ¿cómo se dice? Linda auto, ¿no? Lindo coche, boludo, lindo coche te compraste, ¿eh? Muy buen coche, qué lindo, boludo.
Sí, claro, qué lindo, pero es para todo, me parece, como, qué lindo, una foto, qué linda, es muy útil, pero para mí es un poco chistoso porque puedo decir lindo para casi todo, y es una mezcla de 4 o 5 palabras diferentes en inglés, así que...
Claro. Sí, lo que pasa que como se usa también sarcásticamente la palabra pretty en inglés, también se usa la palabra lindo sarcásticamente. Por ejemplo, si vos decís lindo quilombo, estás usando la palabra sarcásticamente, vamos a decir, sarcastically, you're using that word. No que el quilombo es lindo, porque no es lindo, es feo, pero vamos a decir, lo decís sarcásticamente se usa, ¿no? Como también la palabra alta, ¿no? Alta fiesta,
Altas
o
llantas.
altas llantas, claro. Que también se usa de manera sarcásticamente, pero positivamente, ¿no? Por ejemplo, altas llantas, no es que las llantas sean altas, sino lo que estás queriendo decir es como que, it's like a glamorous type
Claro.
of tires. Y bueno, con lindo o linda se usa también en ese contexto, en un contexto sarcástico para decir lo opuesto o para resaltar una cualidad de algo, ¿no? Así que sí, la podés usar como en vez de decir altas llantas, puedes decir lindas llantas. O sea,
Dale.
lo puedo usar en ese mismo contexto, ¿no?
Sí, no, y otra cosa es como me parece que puede ser cute, pretty and beautiful a la vez. Como,
Sí, sí,
pero
sí.
sí, en inglés me parece que eh, creo que no, esas palabras en inglés no son exactamente lo mismo, pero si por ejemplo, la diferencia entre una chica linda y una chica hermosa, hay, hay una diferencia. Es una palabra más fuerte o más, no sé,
Sí, hermosa, hermosa es una palabra más, es una palabra más cercana a la excelencia, vamos a decir, ¿no?
wow,
Linda, linda es una palabra buena, pero no es una palabra excelente. O sea, si vos querés usar la palabra linda en un contexto de excelencia, vos tenés que decir muy linda, ¿no? En
dale.
cambio, si vos usás la palabra hermosa, directamente se das a entender que es una chica muy linda, vamos a decir, ¿no? Es hermosa
Estoy tomando apuntes para que pueda chamullar más. No.
para... Claro, claro, no, sí, perfecto,
Qué
perfecto.
linda, qué hermosa.
Sí,
Dale.
hermosa es una palabra más flattering que linda, ¿no? Linda es una buena palabra, pero es más... uh, the difference between pretty and gorgeous, right?
Ok.
There is a
Buen
difference.
ejemplo. Eh,
Sí,
dale.
esa es la diferencia entre linda y hermosa, ¿no? Son dos palabras positivas, significa que es una chica linda, pero hermosa es más gorgeous, you know? You don't have to add she's very gorgeous. You could, podés agregar el very a gorgeous, pero por ejemplo, es más común agregar el very a la palabra pretty, very pretty, pero very gorgeous is possible, but it's not common, right? Because it's not necessary, right?
Dale.
Esa es la diferencia entre linda y hermosa. Hermosa no podés agregar muy hermosa, pero no es necesario, vamos a decir, ¿no?
Y una cosita más sobre Linda. No sé si conoces la marca La Linda de vino mendocino, eh, pero la verdad es que es mi marca favorita, de todos que he probado. la linda, Malbec o Cabernet, los dos son increíbles, así que te la recomiendo, esa
La voy a
marca.
probar. La linda se llama.
No es una publicidad, pero, pero puede ser. Si
Puede
alguien
ser,
está
pero puede ser. Sí,
eh,
hay una, por ejemplo, el nickname, viste que los estados a veces tienen nicknames, ¿no?
claro,
Por ejemplo, el estado de Vermont, Green Mountain State. Bueno, hay una provincia en el norte de Argentina que se llama Salta, ¿no?
alto.
Y a Salta se la conoce como Salta la Linda. Salta la Linda es el nickname
Alto.
de esa provincia porque los salteños resaltan la belleza de su provincia. Por eso le dicen Salta la Linda, ¿no? Por ejemplo,
Salta.
¿no? Salta la Linda.
A mí me encanta. Salta la linda.
Sí.
Bueno, eso es suficiente con lindo. Ah, la siguiente pregunta es una frase que, que leí hace unos días en un texto. Y primero que nada, quiero decir, no sé si no entiendo el significado, así que si es explícito, lo siento, no sé,
No hay problema.
pero somos adultos. Eh, y puede ser que no sea explícito también, pero eh, la oración fue algo como lo más seguro es que te ligues una piña. No conozco el verbo ligar
Ligar.
ni el significado de una piña en este caso, pero me imagino que no tiene que ver con la fruta.
No, no. Sí, no, te explico si querés. Te explico.
Por favor.
Ok, por favor, licenciado. Ahora soy licenciado, ¿eh? ¿Sabías que soy licenciado? Me recibo ahora, el 5 de junio me recibo de licenciado en informática.
Oh,
Con
vamos, genial.
Community College of Vermont. So,
Un crack absoluto.
el licenciado Tolosa. Anyway, ligarse una piña, ¿no? Sí, primero la palabra, el verbo ligar, ligar. Ligar es recibir, es un sinónimo de recibir, ¿no? Ligar, vos estás ligando ligaste la lotería, ¿no? Quiere decir que ganaste la lotería. De ahí viene el verbo ligar. Y piña es a punch with your fist.
Ok.
Es a fist punch. Eso es una piña. Entonces, ligaste una piña es que alguien te dio una trompada, ¿no? Una trompada también es otra palabra, no sé si conoces, pero trompada es
Trompada.
punch, trompada. Entonces, si ligaste la piña, una piña significa que te dieron una trompada, que te dieron un bollo, también se dice bollo, es otra palabra que se usa, te dieron un bollo. Ahora, es una palabra lunfardos, vamos a decir, del lunfardo, me dieron un bollo. Y un bollo, ¿sabes lo que es un bollo o no? ¿O
Un
no?
bollo.
Un bollo.
Veo.
Veo, y no sé si es Y-I-O doble L-O. La puedes buscar con las dos. B-O-L-L-O o B-O-Y-I-O. Bollo.
Bollo. Es pan. Pan o también puede
Sí,
ser.
un bollo de pan puede ser así, porque en realidad es una pelota, vamos a decir, es como una pelota de dough, dough,
Claro.
el dough ball,
Sí.
right? Eso también se usa bollo, pero bollo también es un sinónimo de piña y también de bump. Cuando te dan un bump en el auto, que te queda un bollo, o sea, si te queda medio como un agujero para adentro.
Ok.
Eso es un bollo, ¿no?
Bollo.
Entonces, bollo.
Y
Después pongo ahí el subtítulo. ¿Cómo se escribe? ¿Con Y o con doble L?
con doble L.
Doble, ok.
pero
Porque después
también,
cuando hago el edit, pongo las palabras, voy poniendo ahí abajo, en nuestras caras pongo esas palabras, para que la gente sepa cómo se escriben.
em, pero también dice acá que hay un significado em, insultante o ofensivo, em, y la frase es: no digas bolo o bollo en frente de los niños. Em,
Los niños. Ah, sí, no,
pero
esa no sabía esa. Me la enseñaste vos porque no sabía, pero sí, puede ser pollo. En
está bien.
realidad, no sabía que era. Nunca, no es una mala palabra, bollo, para nada, ¿no? Pero en realidad quizás lo que te quieren decir es que por el tema de la violencia infantil, que le estás pegando a un niño, ¿no? No le des un bollo al niño. No le des una trompada al niño porque eso es
Puede ser,
violencia doméstica.
pero no lo digas.
No lo
Em,
digas, no lo digas.
em,
Mi mamá me decía, mi mamá o mi abuela me decía cuando yo era chiquito, me decían, ven, no hagas eso porque te voy a dar un bollo, te voy a dar un bollo. Y eso significaba que me iba a dar un, she was going to punch me.
claro.
That was a
Eh,
threat.
a mí
Esa
me
fue una
encanta que
amenaza,
una piña es como un golpe con la mano.
una piña, sí,
¿Por qué una piña?
una
Es,
piña. La verdad que no sé, no sé de dónde viene, pero vamos a decir, tratando de entender, es porque el fist looks like una piña de la fruta, vamos a decir, ¿no? Eso es lo único que lo que uno entiendo, la etimología de la palabra viene de ahí, me parece, ¿no? Pero la verdad que no sé exactamente, sino que estoy tratando de buscarle el sentido, ¿no? Creo que viene de ahí.
puede ser, pero así que no voy a recibir una fruta, sino un bollo.
Punch, punch, punch in your face, yeah, yeah.
Sí, ok.
Una
Voy a
piña.
tener cuidado. Em, y
Hay otra palabra que se usa también en otros países de habla hispana, que es puñetazo. Puñetazo.
sí, conozco esa palabra, puñetazo, pero em, claro, no es común en Argentina, ¿no?
No es común. Esa es una palabra que la gente la usa muy poco en Argentina, ¿no? Se usa, pero, por ejemplo, en un contexto más formal, como te decía, si hay un juez, estás en un juicio y el juez está explicando un crimen, quizás va a usar esa palabra, puñetazo. Piña y bollo son palabras mucho más informales, vamos a decir, mucho más. Sobre
Ok,
todo bollo es mucho más lunfardo que piña y que puñetazo, ¿no? Puñetazo es la palabra más formal de diccionario, vamos a decir, ¿no?
dale, puñetazo. Em, y la última pregunta, no sé si ya viste em, el nuevo video de Dustin en su
¿No?
YouTube, pero es su novia eh, enseñándole a él lunfardo de Argentina, y una frase que a mí me encantó mucho fue: ser más raro que un perro verde. Eh, ¿Conoces esa frase?
Ser más raro que un perro verde, no escuché en Buenos Aires nunca, pero puede ser una frase más de provincia o de otras provincias, pero yo nunca había escuchado hasta ahora, vamos a decir, ¿no?
Dale, entonces tenés que ver el video, es
Lo voy a ver, lo voy a ver.
buenísimo, pero eh, sí, la idea de un dicho como un perro verde, como la piña, de dónde vino la idea de un perro verde, así, pero puede ser porque nunca he visto un perro verde, así que algo más raro que un perro verde sería bastante raro. Así que, pero es, su explicación es en el video es muy chistoso, así que
Te morís, te morís.
te morís, me muero. Pero bueno, si no conoces la frase, tengo una pregunta más.
Sí, sí.
Em,
Ay, te tiro otra, esa es otra expresión. Te tiro otra, Will, te tiro otra.
Tiro otra. Ok, voy a escribir eso para que
Y eso quiere
no lo
decir, te tiro
olvide.
otra, es te digo otra cosa, vamos a decir. ¿No?
Tiro,
Te tiro otra, Will.
dale,
I'm going to throw you another one. I'll throw you another question, right?
dale.
Sería más o menos una comparación. Hay una frase, hay otra frase como la que dijo la novia de Dustin, que yo usaba mucho en Buenos Aires y con mis amigos, y es una frase un poco graciosa, pero es una frase que dice, entró como trompada de loco.
En- entro,
Entró como trompada de loco. Porque
entró
sí,
como propada de loco.
claro, y esa frase se usa para describir una situación, ¿cómo se dice? Unexpected, ¿no? ¿Cómo se dice? Inesperada. Una situación completamente inesperada, uno puede decir, entró como trompada de loco, porque lo que significa es que un loco, una persona que está loca, va caminando y de repente tira una trompada al aire, vamos a decir, ¿no? Porque está loco, ¿no?
Claro,
Entonces, ah, no sé, se imagina que hay alguien ahí, tira una trompada, vamos a decir, ¿no? Entonces, por eso la gente cuando eso pasa es completely unexpected, es completamente inesperado.
inesperado.
Entonces, bueno, así existe esa, esa situación para explicar que algo pasó o entró de manera inesperada, ¿no? O de manera muy fuerte, ¿no? Algo que pasó muy fuerte, porque si un loco te tira una piña, vos no estás esperando, vos estás y de repente te noquea, ¿no? Vamos a decir, knockout, ¿no? Entonces por eso, boludo, no sabes, entró como trompada, me chocaron en el auto, boludo, no lo vi, y entró como trompada de loco, boludo, porque entró
Entró,
así, no me la esperaba.
gracioso. ¿Y puedes repetirlo una vez más? Quiero escribirlo.
Entró
Entró
como
como trom-
trompada
trompada. Ok. Trompada
de loco.
de loco. Entró como trompada de loco.
¿Sí?
Genial.
Eso después, vos si querés buscarlo en el Google, poner las quotes, así te busca específicamente esa frase y seguramente te va a aparecer en, no sé, en lugares cómicos, ¿no? O cosas cómicas.
Dale.
Funny stuff.
Entró como
Entró como trompada de
trompada
loco.
de
Ponelo
loco.
entre quotes, así te busca específicamente a alguien que haya dicho eso.
Dice una cita que fue hecho por Ventalosa. No. Eh, sí, no. Bueno, puedo buscar esa frase más tarde, pero me parece que es, que va a ser muy gracioso.
Sí,
Eh,
sí, sí. Todo lo que encuentre seguramente va a ser gracioso, seguro.
em, pero bueno, creo que ya estamos. Es todo lo que tengo en español, o sea, dudas en español para hoy. Siempre me quedan más dudas o más preguntas. Pero si estás listo, podemos cambiar al inglés. O si estás bien, si está ¿Está bien?
Sí, dale, cuando flip the
Okay.
switch.
I I really like that expression though, the entró como trompada de loco. It's a pretty funny one. I can't think of I don't know if there's one like a similar expression in English. So I'll have to think about it. If I think of one that's like similar, I'll let you know. So you can use it in both languages. But
Right.
so how's everything going in your
Good.
English journey?
Yeah, everything is going well. I got eaten by 1,000 mosquitoes yesterday. So anyway, I have a story to tell you, which is I think you are going to enjoy. I think I gave you a little what is it called, glimpse or a little sneak peek
teaser
over text messaging. But yeah. So anyway, yesterday I got eaten by mosquitoes. I still have my arms and legs all itchy, and I went to play soccer with a New London group, a soccer group we have here in New London. I used to lead the group. I used to send the emails. I used to organize the group. But after COVID, then we changed venues. So I offer the organization of the group to this other guy, and he took it because he knows people at the college. We have a college here in town, and the name of the college is Colby Sawyer. And so he knows people at Colby Sawyer, so he can use. They allow him to use one of their soccer fields. So it's better for him to keep sending the emails, because otherwise I will need to ask him, hey, what's going on? Can we go? And so anyway, it was easier to just switch captains, I guess. And so I went yesterday, and so one of the guys I met at the beginning of the game, I kind of had an idea who he could have been, because I have another friend. His name is Shane, and he's the manager at our local co-op. And so he told me last year, he told, we have a customer. He's from Argentina, and he lives around. I don't know where.
Javier Mascherano. No.
Right. Javier Mascherano. Y entonces, no, I'm sorry. So then I
interrupted.
No, that's fine. And they said, oh, okay, I just was like, oh, whatever, so yeah, he will like to come and play with us at one point. Well, that's great, so then COVID happened, and we didn't play for like 15 months, right? So now after the winter, we came and play again outdoors. So they started like a week ago, but my first game was yesterday. So anyway, I see this guy, and I notice an accent, right? And again, I think that my English is good, but 10 years ago, it was not this good. It was much worse, right? Again, I don't speak like a native, but I speak better than 10 years ago, right? So I understand. I notice accents when English is not their first language. I can tell, at least I can, right? So, and because he was, I added this guy. His name is Antonio, or he goes by Tony. I added him to the email group last year because I was organizing, and so I know of his name. So I saw him and I started to talk with him. He has a much heavier accent than the one I have. And we started to talk. I didn't want to tell him who I was, right? That I was the guy organizing last year. I was just talking with him, whatever. And I was speaking English with him, right? All the time. And throughout the game, I kept speaking English with him. And so we play on the same team. The game ends, and we start leaving the place. Everybody starts leaving. And then he stayed behind a little bit because he was talking with this other guy who is from, I think his mom is from Peru. but he's from Miami, and now he's studying at this school called the Sawyer. So they started to speak Spanish between them, right? And this is at the end of the game. And I was talking with him before he started to talk with that guy. So I was in the little group of 3 people. So everybody basically leaves, and there's all 3 of us speaking. And they were talking, they were speaking in Spanish with each other. And then they said to me, "Oh, we're sorry, we're speaking Spanish."
No.
They started speaking English in between them. And then they spoke English, and I didn't say anything. I was just waiting for them to stop talking so I can talk to Tony, right? And then all of a sudden they switched to Spanish again because they forgot whatever. And then again they said to me, "Oh, we're sorry. We'll switch back to English." And they started to speak in English again. I said, "It's okay, guys. Don't worry about it. I understand what you're saying. I can speak Spanish too." And they looked at me and they said, "Really?" And I looked at Tony and I said, "Let me flip the switch." And I do. Y claro, yo entiendo porque en realidad crecí en Buenos Aires. So the guy, Tony, was like, "Oh my God, I can't. What? And are you original from Argentina?" Yeah. In Spanish, right? He was talking to me in Spanish. "Oh my God, I couldn't tell when I met you before the game. I thought that you were, your English is so good. I thought that you were a native English speaker. I never would have thought."
Vamos!
Vamos, Dustin and Ruben and Will. You guys are the best.
That's awesome though. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, but anyway, you have to remember that he is a native Spanish speaker. So it's not that I was speaking with another native English speaker. That would have been more flattering, I guess.
Still impressive. That'll happen. It'll happen. But that's still really cool that you're doing that well.
Yeah, so anyway, then we switched to Argentine Spanish, and we spoke for like 20 minutes while we were eating alive by mosquitoes. And so he actually lives in New London, which is, in 17 years, I never met another guy from Argentina that lived that close from where I live. He's actually 10 minutes away from my house. And the reason, and I knew where he lived before he ever told me, you know what? Because when you drive by his house, he has a huge Argentinian flag next to the American flag. He has 2 flags, same size. Yeah, like you, just like that. And so I drove by, and because he moved like a year and a half ago. So I always drove by. I was thinking, I wonder who lives here, because this is so rare. It's like a perro verde, right? It's
perro verde.
Yeah, it's so weird, because you know how many people we have in New London? We have 1,600 people. I mean, it's just like it's a tiny town, And so he's actually a 48 years old lawyer, and he has like a son or 2 in Buenos Aires, and he's just was amazing to get to meet him. So then we had to go because they were closing the place, but we are going to go for a beer here sometime soon and speak more about him, about me, and get to know each other, because it's so strange, to find somebody from Argentina around here. It's like, I don't know if you've ever been to New Hampshire, but either 94 or 98%, we have to double check on Wikipedia, but 94%, let's say, of the population of New Hampshire, they are white people, English speaking white people. So very strange, but it was cool.
That's so cool. And creo que es hora de que lo invitemos a esta fiesta. Vamos. No.
Vamos.
All the Argentines are welcome.
Right.
But no, that's really funny. The expression of "it's a small world." I don't know if you're familiar with that, but
it's a small world, right?
It's a small world. Like when you run into people that are either like, say, for example, you were in another country and you meet someone and they're from New London or something like that. Just an example of where something happens by chance, and you just say, "Wow, like it's a small world." So that's one of my favorite phrases in English. It's a small world.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I sent him an email, and because I told him I was going to send him an email because when we left, he actually said he waited for me in his car. So I drove next to him and I opened my window because he was like kind of waiting, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to have a beer right now. You want to come with me?" And my wife was waiting for me. I said, "Not now, but we, next time we can do it." And so yeah, it's just I don't know. So I sent him an email, and within the email, I sent a link to our first episode, which is live on YouTube right now. Because I told him a little bit of what I do, and I share that because again he's one of those very proud Argentinians, right? Like very proud of being from Argentina, and so I thought, well, he may enjoy our meetings because I think that some people from Argentina will find funny the things I'm teaching you, those expressions, and and I'm sure he can learn better English from you, So anyway. So and he actually was, I think he was the first view of the channel. So we have one view.
Woo! Yeah. Have you heard the quote by Gandhi, I believe it is, that it's the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single footstep?
Yes, absolutely.
There you go. Journey of
we got the first one, my friend.
1,000 subscribers begins with a single view.
Yeah, so I still need to get a picture of myself. I posted the picture you sent me, and I think it looks good. And it looks weird because it's only your picture there. But I will add mine. I hope to take it this weekend and just post it.
So esta jeta bella, eh?
Esta jeta bella.
Jeta, sí, not jeta.
Esta jeta bella.
Mm-hmm. No, sorry. Well, we can stick with English. But,
this pretty face. That's it.
Yeah. I just couldn't remember if jeta was another way that they said face.
Jeta, right? Jeta is very, very lunfardo.
Ah, okay.
It's a very, very lunfardo word. Jeta.
Jeta. Okay. Well, there you go. I'm trying to think of what else. That is so cool though that you met another Argentine playing soccer or football, of course, too. That seems pretty good. So it wasn't Javier Mascherano, but
no. But his last name is an Italian last name, as you may have imagined.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, another Argentine Italian descendant. Or yeah. I think I said.
I did have a question to ask you. Although I feel like this is your time if you want to ask me questions.
No. Please.
Do you like vermouth? Do you ever drink anything with vermouth?
Because like Cinzano or like Fernet?
Yes, Cinzano.
Cinzano. Yeah, Cinzano. I used to when I was your age, my friend. When I was 22. Actually, yeah, that's about right. When I was 22, when I was between 18 and 23-ish, 24, let's say 23, I had a period of time where I used to go to nightclubs every weekend with two friends. Sometimes we were 4, sometimes we were 5, but these two friends, we used to go to a nightclub together. So the routine was meeting at my apartment. I used to have my own apartment. In fact, my parents gave me an apartment when I was 16. I had my own apartment. It was a studio apartment, but still my apartment. And the routine was meeting at my house, at my apartment, and drinks insano with lemon. And so we will get a little drunk, and then we will go to the nightclubs, and we didn't have to spend a ton of money on drinks because we already had some drinks at my house.
Right.
We never drove, so don't drink and drive, folks. But we used
The
to
more
take
you
a
know.
bus. Yeah, we used to take a bus that it was a really good bus because it used to drive us to exactly where we had to go back and forth. And so yeah, it's Insano with lemon. I haven't had one of those in 20 years or more. But yeah.
Just the reason I asked was in the summer when I cook asados, I like to have Cinsano, a little bit of soda, and then like orange or lemon. And I just found out that there's a mixed drink called an americano, which is vermouth or Cinsano, Campari, which I guess it's a bitter or some sort of other liquor you add, and a lemon or orange. But I guess it's a pretty popular cocktail, so I might have to try it. It'll remind me of Argentina because that's the first time I had Cinsano. But I didn't know if that was something that you liked or drank.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. We used to have like a little metal pot that it was old, but it was clean, and we used to put the Cinsano, the lemon, and some ice. And my friend, one of my friends, used to mix it and just give it to us, and we'll drink it like a bottle of 2 before we went out. And great memories from those years. And yeah, so another cool drink I got to learn thanks to my mother-in-law, because she went to Peru and learned about a drink called pisco sour.
Pisco sour, yeah.
You know how to make it?
I don't know all the ingredients, but I had a few when I was in Chile. I know that there's some tension between Peru and Chile.
Right. And Peruvians say, no, we are the creators of pisco sour.
Right.
Or pisco, whatever.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
no, the pisco from Peru is better. And so anyway, I never had the Chilean pisco, but I have a bottle of the pisco, the Peruvian pisco. And so my mother-in-law introduced me to that drink here in the States, when I was already in the States. And it's a great drink. I really like it. So basically the way I make it is like you get some pisco, I don't know how much, and then you get you get an egg, and you take the yolk out of the egg, and you keep the what's the white part called?
We just say egg whites.
The egg whites, right. It's one egg white, and I think it's an ounce or 2 ounces of pisco or something like that, and then some sugar, and I think some lemon too. I don't remember, but anyway, it's like, then you mix it on a blender, and it gets all kind of bubbly.
Yeah,
and
foamy. Yeah.
And it's really good. I love it. One of my favorite drinks. It's just kind of a pain to make. That's why.
Yeah.
I don't really make it, but.
Yeah, with the egg, I guess it's a bit of a bit harder than Cinsano and a lemon. So.
Right. And so I was talking with my brand new friend Tony, and so the best Malbec I've ever had is called La Posta, and it's from a small winery, and they sell it here in my local liquor store, and it's like $16-17, and it's so smooth that I can drink a bottle by myself on a night, and not all of a sudden, but in 6 hours I can finish a bottle, no problem, and I don't feel hangover the next day, and I sleep well and everything. So
Yeah,
you ever,
I bet you do.
in fact, if I was driving close to your home, I will bring you a bottle as a present. So yeah.
Yeah, good Malbec.
Or one day when we get together in real life, we should.
Right, and you can beat me in soccer.
Uh,
I yeah, Malbec. I don't know if I told you, but so I went to Argentina 2 years ago, so I was 20, and in the U.S. you have to be 21 to drink alcohol legally, and a lot of people drink it when they're younger than that, but to be honest, I never really did. So I had never really had red wine before arriving in Mendoza. And what a place to start drinking red wine, because it is
the mecca of
yeah,
Malbec.
there's a lot of it, and it's really good. And so yeah, I really learned to just fall in love with Malbec and Cabernet, however you want to pronounce it.
Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah, I always find that in the U.S. I hear more people say Cabernet, like I guess it's just the French. But I feel like in Argentina, and I could be wrong, I heard more people say Cabernet, like with maybe
right.
The E was different, but Cabernet.
Yeah,
so I never know how to say, like, which way I should say it. But
I mean, always the proper is the original language. So being French, saying it the French way, that's the proper way.
Yeah.
It's like saying the word pelotudo. Pelotudo, you want to say it with an Argentine accent.
It was a pelotudo.
Right. You don't want to say pelotude in French. Pelotude. No, I want to say pelotudo.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll have to try La Posta. If I see it.
Do you have a preference between Malbec and Cabernet, or?
Not really. I think originally I liked Cabernet a little bit better, but now I love both of them. So either way, Malbec. I like I think probably Cabernet. I like the taste a little bit better, but I like that Malbec is like just like the Argentine wine,
Right,
like
right. The trademark,
the best in the world. So
yeah. Well, studies have shown that the Malbec grape is the best one for your heart. For your heart.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Mendoza, always helping out the heart.
Right. Do you know the story how that became a thing in Argentina?
The Malbec grape.
Yep.
I'm sure I learned it, but I feel like I'm not remembering it. I'm gonna guess it came from Italy or France, but
yes. So here's the story. And again, if you research it, I may be off a little bit on the story, so I don't, but essentially, here's the story. Malbec was a grape from France. So at one point in history, I don't know when, but they brought a lot of Malbec grapes to Mendoza, right? So they started to plant and grow the grape. So then some years later, they have a very, 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 very rough winter in France. And that killed all of the Malbec grapes in France, or at least most of them. But
right.
My understanding that they killed them all. So the original French Malbec grapes left in the world were only found in Mendoza, right? So now the grape, obviously people can grow the grape in Australia and France, in the United States, but that's why it became such a trademark from Argentina, because there was already a market for that grape around the world, but the only place to find Malbec wine was in Argentina. And this is once upon a time, because again, now you can grow any grape anywhere in the world, but that's how the trademark began.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think, I feel like I have heard that as well, that it was brought over, and then in France they got wiped out, and then it was exclusively in Argentina. Very, very cool. I was trying to think if there was anything I wanted to touch on, switching to more English or grammar-based stuff. And one of the things that came to mind, and we don't have to review this a lot, but I was talking with Ruben about this a few days ago, is if you remember in that video I sent to you by Super Holly, one of the things she mentions in English that we as native speakers do without even realizing or knowing why, is if we are describing something with multiple adjectives, there's sort of an order that you list them. And I don't know if you remember seeing that part, but there's sort of an order to the way we list them, but it's not like if you were to ask an English speaker, they would have no idea what you're talking about. But if you give an example, it's something that we would all do pretty much the exact same. And I think that's just really interesting.
I have no idea.
Do you remember what I'm talking about, or did you?
No, I don't remember her videos, so I'm not aware of the.
Okay. I want to see. Just give me 1 second, and if this takes me a second, we can cut this.
No, that's fine.
Out. I mean, I just figured it would be good if we had some English tips or advice, just because I could.
Yeah. Oh, please. You are the Americanologue, American log, or I don't know, whatever you say it, however you say it. But.
Yeah, I guess that's the one thing though too, and this would be worth talking about. But the term American and how we use it in the United States is like we're Americans, and then the rest of all the other countries in America say, well, we're all Americans, so not just you. So there's sort of this unspoken rule in English that if you were talking about something, and you use multiple adjectives, adjetivos, that we usually in English would start with one that has to do with our opinion about that object. Opinion, then size, then physical quality, then shape, then age. And now this is not it's not a absolutely true rule, but it's like, for example, she uses the example, that's an unusual big red plastic cooking spoon. So unusual, which is your opinion, then big, tamaño, size, and then red, calidad física, physical quality, then the shape, and so on. So, for example, that's an unusual big red plastic cooking tool. But if you flip that, if you were to rotate the order, it, like, for example, that's a cooking big unusual plastic red tool or spoon. It's the exact same words, but in that order, it sounds so strange to an English speaker. So Ruben and I were just talking about that, of like, how do you
explain that?
Yeah, how do you explain that? And you feel bad for people that are learning English because, how they know that. Again, it's one, I don't know if there's a lot of examples where you will be using that many adjectives at the same time. But it is funny, like, um, like that's a big cooking spoon, size, and then describing what it does, as opposed to that's a cooking big spoon. Like that's one where it definitely sounds weird.
Right.
So the order of the adjectives matter, and in some sentences, and I don't
Yeah.
know. I was trying to think if that's the same in Spanish, like because I feel like I very rarely use multiple adjectives in Spanish, but maybe that's because I don't have as high of a or as wide of a vocabulary yet. But
No, if you say, esa es una gran cuchara roja, gran cuchara roja. That makes more sense than saying, esa es una roja gran cuchara.
Claro, okay.
It makes more sense to say it in the first order than the second.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, I thought that was really interesting with the order of the adjectives.
I have the idea. No, I didn't know. So thank you for teaching me that, because I didn't know.
Well, I'm trying to think again, not to steal everything from her video, but like she does give a few more examples that are really funny. Again, as an English speaker, because she says it how we would say it, and then like if you mix that order up, and it sounds like it just makes you laugh. It's just really, really interesting. So yeah, that's one thing I guess to keep in mind is if you're gonna say something with multiple adjectives, you just have to be careful sometimes that you don't mix up the order, because it could make it sound very strange, even though your pronunciation could be perfect, all the words could make sense, but the order is really important. So there's your fun fact of the night.
Well, thank you. I really do appreciate it. I have no idea. So,
and the next time you're talking about a big red unusual cooking spoon, you'll be all set.
Yeah, no, that's good. I will definitely keep that in mind, and that's great. That's great. And that's the thing, is like, as you perfect your English, as you polish your English, and as you get better speaking another language, could be English or Spanish, sometimes you don't realize that you're improving until people tells you.
Right.
And so, like this guy told me yesterday, I had no idea. All I could hear is my accent,
Right.
And the guy couldn't, So that's something to let you know that will happen to you too. Sometimes you're thinking of your accent, and maybe your accent is not that bad, anymore.
I think about my accent all the time when I'm speaking Spanish, and we've talked about this too. Like for me, it's if you think too much, like if you're trying to think of the words and the grammar and all that, then I sort of lose the accent. And if I think too much in just trying to do the accent, I might not have the same fluidity. So it's always sort of the trade-off of trying to do both. But
did you ever speak Spanish with somebody after you've been drinking for a little bit, or not? Or do you have that experience?
Yeah, I would talk with my host family after a few Malbecs at dinner, or some friends if we went out and had a beer or two. Yeah, so maybe there I was a bit more relaxed.
Because I think that when I had a glass of wine, or if I had a beer, I noticed that sometimes I can speak with less of an accent. Now, if I get too many beers, then I start.
Yeah, then you're not speaking English or Spanish. You're
exactly
a new language.
Right. But yeah, that's kind of something that I'm not telling you kids to drink alcohol. I'm just saying that if you drink responsibly and you're not driving, it could be, a good test if you do it in a safe environment and if you have a designated driver.
Right.
But
we're trying to get sponsored though by Cinsano and La Posta. Let's just have all these liquor symbols on the screen.
Then we can do like the Formula One.
Yeah.
Have all the sponsors and our jerseys, right?
Yeah, exactly. I did have one more question.
Yeah.
And this may have been something that we've talked about before, but I'm sure, I know you do it as well, but like I love to listen to music in Spanish, watch shows in Spanish, interviews, just try to get as much content as I can. And I find that throughout the day, like when things are slow or I have some free time to think, one of my favorite things to do, or maybe not even favorite, I start doing it, is acting as if I was being interviewed on a Spanish TV show, and just like what I would say, but it's just like, it's all in my mind, and you're just like, you just kind of go through the lines, and I always feel like I do such a good job in my head, like all the words are coming, you feel good, all that, and it's just like, then sometimes when I go to speak, you don't feel like it's there. It's like, why, there's just a disconnect between, it's that far from the brain to your mouth. Why is it hard to do? And sometimes it's so frustrating. And I know you said it's the same as like, if you just watch people lifting weights all the time, you're not gonna, be a bodybuilder. So
yeah, sometimes
because I just feel like I watch so much stuff and I hear how people speak and like I can think that, it's just, it doesn't always come out that way, and it's frustrating.
Right. Yeah. If you hear people saying something and if you understand what you're saying, you have the knowledge. So there is something in between the knowledge that you have, the understanding, and saying it. So there's something that gets on the way because you know the word, you know how to say it, you know how to pronounce it. But if you're not saying, or if sometimes we just get in our own ways. So that's why, again, I'm not recommending to drink, but as an example, sometimes when you have a beer, or maybe if you had a nice cup of tea, a relaxing tea or something that gets yourself out of your own way, then you can speak more fluently. Because if you are too worried about making mistakes, and I'm speaking from experience because that happened to me a million times, right. I get into my own way, and then I start doubting myself, and instead of saying something that I typically say very well, I say it wrong, and it's something I've been saying, I say every day and I say it right, but I don't know what example I can give you, but a certain word, and that's just getting too self-conscious and getting in our own way. It's like, if look how comfortable you feel right now talking with me, right? You feel comfortable speaking English, right? So now let's say if I click something on my computer and I show you another window, and actually I was broadcasting this to 80,000 people live on a stadium, and you were on a big screen, right? So you will be, oh my God, right? You will be. So now let's say I told you before the show, hey, I am going to show you to a live audience of 80,000 people. So the way you will speak will be so different because you will be so nervous. Oh my God, what am I, do you see what I'm saying? It's like, you have the knowledge, you know how to say it, you know how to pronounce it. The difference is just put it, getting on your own way, getting yourself in your own way, and sometimes that's it's difficult to get yourself out of the way because it happens to me all the time. But the only way is just doing what you're doing. Keep practicing. I think this shows will help too with that, and it's just, I think that's what it is, at least in my experience, my own experience with English.
Right.
And again, now I'm speaking with you, I'm relaxed, I can speak decent English. But now if in 5 minutes I go out on my car and the police stops me, I'm just all the accent and insecurities and self-conscious, and I'm gonna speak terribly, likely. So it's just really the psychology is key. If you can control that somehow, if you can find a trick.
Mate. I was gonna start drinking more mate.
Mate. Something I used to do that I can tell you a little trick I used to do before I went on the stage, before playing a play, right? So before you go on the stage and you have like 300 people there waiting to see you perform, it's pretty nerve-wracking, to everybody, really, or to most people. So the trick I used to think is like, okay, so the play is 45 minutes. In 3 hours, it's going to be completely over. No matter what, in 3 hours, it's going to be completely over. Yeah, sure, it's 45 minutes, but in 3 hours, I'm not going to even be here, So that was kind of helpful to me to say, oh, okay, 3 hours, I'm not going to even be here. So I don't need to worry that much. I don't know what's going to happen the next 45, but I know that in 3 hours, I'm not going to be here, so.
Yeah, well, it's like the quote you told me from Michael Jordan about why would I worry about missing a shot I haven't taken yet.
Right, exactly. Yeah, good quote.
It's a great one. Well, I don't know if you have any more questions, if you want to go over anything, if you have any closing thoughts. If not, I will probably get going here in a few minutes, but if there's anything else you want to end on.
No, I'm good. I think I think this is a good time to get going. So that's it for me tonight. And thank you for your teaching, my friend.
No, thank you. I always, like I said, I know I always come away with, I have my notebook of all the things I've learned and write down that I'll review later. So hopefully you also have stuff you take away from.
Yeah, no, and when I watch the show, when I rewatch the show again to edit it, I'm paying attention to what we spoke, so it's kind of a refresher for me.
Yeah, and like I said, sorry I was later tonight. No worries. Today was just a long day out in the field, we say. So
don't worry about that. Don't worry.
It was tough too because I was up in like a place with a lot of trees, so there was like no cell service, so it was harder to even like respond to you. So I didn't even see your text about will I see you later until later in the day, and it was just, so I felt bad, but we did it, and hopefully I wasn't too tired in the head, but
no, that's fine. No worries. I mean, whatever. I'm flexible, and I want to adjust to your schedule, and there will be times that I won't be available myself, and so we'll always try to shoot to meet the same day, and if we can't, we do it another day, and we'll play by ear. So don't worry.
All right. So, trying to think, should we do? Is there a good like closing thing? We could just like make sure we edit that in, so it's like, I don't know.
It's all good, man. It's all good, man. Do you know who's that? Who is that?
Saul Goodman.
It's a name, Saul Goodman, but it's pronounced in the show. It's all good, man.
Saul Goodman. I don't know
where the name is Saul, like Saul, Saul Goodman.
Is it Better Call Saul?
Yeah. So there's a show called Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
haven't
one of
seen
my
I haven't
favorite
seen
shows.
Better Call Saul, but I know the character from Breaking Bad.
From Breaking Bad. Yeah, I watched Breaking Bad. I really like the show, but I like Better Call Saul better, much better than Breaking Bad.
Interesting. I'll have to check it out. But I don't think that is there any chemistry, because that's what I liked about Breaking Bad. I'm a chemistry nerd. So
Oh, yeah, right. No. So I don't know if you're gonna. I love Breaking Bad. Don't get me wrong. I loved it. It's just I guess that because I have some familiarity with the law, with being a lawyer, and my dad working for the Supreme Court, and
right.
it's more like a lawyer's show. It tells you the story of how he becomes Saul Goodman from being a regular lawyer to start working with mob people, from cartel people. Yeah, there's a bunch of characters from Breaking Bad, and I'm sure you'll if you ever watch it, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Not as much as Breaking Bad, but it's a good show.
Yeah. I'll check it out. And like I said, now that I finished The Last Dance, I need another thing to watch.
Did you like The Last Dance?
I loved it. Really good. I didn't know much about Michael Jordan, but now I'm a big fan. That guy is just a winner.
Yes.
But all right, my friend.
All right, my friend. Have a wonderful weekend and enjoy your evening.
Gracias por todo y gracias por ver este video. Y nos
Subscribe
vemos
to
pronto.
our channel, and give us a like, a thumbs up.
Woo! Y
One day we'll join a beer or some Malbec with you.
genial.
Right?
Eso espero.
We'll do a meetup. We'll do a meetup.
There we go. All right.
All
Nos
right.
vemos. Ciao.
Nos vemos. Cuídate.